Good morning, church. Voice is a little raspy from all the singing we did last night under the tent. What a great time last night. And Brother Johnny Gaston was there, and he had mentioned in his message that sometimes as Christians it's just hard to explain the grace of God. It's hard to explain the love of God. It's hard to explain the peace that we have from God unless you've ever had it. And because words don't really describe it. I want to give you a couple of verses that say we live as sincere followers of Christ. We do live literally an unexplainable life that has a knowledge that you can't the Bible says you can't comprehend it, but yet we get it. So Philippians 4 begins in verse 4, says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again I say rejoice. Let your gentle spirit be known to all men. The Lord is near. Be anxious for nothing, and everything by prayer and supplication. Let your requests be made known to God, and the peace of God," listen to this, "which surpasses comprehension, will guard your hearts and minds." There's a peace that God gives you when you obey these simple commands in Philippians 4. Rejoice. Let your gentle spirit be known. Be gentle around others. And be anxious for nothing. There's a peace that passes understanding. I don't understand this peace. I have it. I have a hard time explaining it. But it's guarding my heart and my mind. I have this unexplainable peace in my life. I love that. We have part of our life is just unexplainable because God's doing this great work in us. And then we read this yesterday in our scriptures at church, as well as Brother Johnny mentioned it last night. Ephesians 3, a little further down, says, verse 14, "For this reason," at Paul's prayer, "I bow my knees before the Father, from whom every family in heaven and on earth derives its name, that he would grant you, according to the riches of his glory," this is his prayer, "that you be strengthened with the power through his Spirit in the inner man, so that Christ may dwell in your hearts through faith, and that you, being rooted and grounded in love," listen to this, "may be able to comprehend with all the saints the breadth, the length, the height, and the depth, to know the love of Christ, which surpasses knowledge." He's praying that you'll know something that's beyond knowing. He's praying that you'll be filled up with all the fullness of God. Help us comprehend the love of God in its height, breadth, length, and depth. But it surpasses knowledge. It's bigger than we can comprehend, but he's praying that we will know that which surpasses comprehension. So I love that so much, that Paul knows there's a spiritual side of all of this. It's not an intellectual knowledge. It's not just in the realm of this intellect, but there is this deeper life truth that God can help us understand. There's this deeper life peace. There's this deeper life joy that we can understand that's far greater than any earthly happiness or earthly joys. God's given us this much greater spiritual journey in life. So let's celebrate that today. Let's tell others about it. Makes me feel smart, by the way, like I have this knowledge that others don't have. Not in an arrogant way, just in a comforting way for me. That we have this surpassing great understanding. It's an unexplainable life in our faith. When you really understand it, it's unexplainable. It's hard to tell others about it because it's so awesome. So let's tell others with joy and gladness today what God's done for us. We'll see you back soon.